Joining me now, Conservative strategist Jamie Ellerton. Jamie, always appreciate your time. Thanks so much for joining us on Election Day, of course. What do you make of that right there? Trump inserting himself once again into the election conversation, as we've seen him do multiple times.
Yeah, it's starting to sound like a tired shtick, to be frank. I think Pierre Poilievre had it right in saying essentially, like, bug off, Canadians are going to decide our future. And I think it's clear if you look at what the president's had to say from the end of January onwards, this whole notion of 51st state stuff, I think has really rallied Canadians and woken us up to kind of our away from our perhaps sleepy indifference to politics and taking a real stake in this election campaign.
So if Pierre Poilievre succeeds in winning, what will be the driving factor, in your opinion, that winning message from the campaign?
I think when you look at what Pierre Poilievre has had to say, I think his biggest driver is focusing on a message of change. Of course, the Liberals have a new leader, but he effectively has the exact same team that was with Justin Trudeau. And I think when you look at what Pierre Poilievre has said as he's campaigned across the country, the kind of big three is going to be getting housing built, addressing the issues of crime and kind of the increasing chaos in our cities, and just look at all the encampments at parks and cities across the country, large and small. And the last, of course, is on economic reform, specifically as it relates to getting government out of the way so that we can get energy and other infrastructure projects built in a way that improves our economic resiliency rather than further ties our hands behind our back with complacency and kind of government paralysis.
So, Jamie, throughout this campaign, we've talked about the importance of Quebec, the importance of vote-rich Ontario, and potentially the importance of British Columbia with so many three-way races out there, so many tight races out there as well. You yourself, specifically, any ridings or regions in particular that you will have your eye on tonight that could be a bellwether of where things might go?
Yeah, given the way our country is built and the way the polls close, we'll go from east to west. That kind of the two big ones that I'll be looking at tonight are Central Nova and Nova Scotia and Eglinton Lawrence right here in Toronto. If Conservatives have a good night in Central Nova and Eglinton Lawrence, I think that's going to speak very well to the results overall. Even if those races are tight and not, or if they're not Conservative wins, even if they're tight, that bodes well for Conservative seats in the rest of Ontario and another suburban ridings. So those are the two I'll have my eye on early tonight.
Jamie Ellerton, Conservative strategist. Always appreciate our conversation. Thanks so much, Jamie.
Thanks, Scott.